Welcome to the Hall podcast. This is episode number 2. I'm Ryan King, your host for today, and with me I have Will Schwarz, currently the director of UAPIC. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. So tell us how you got started in the trades.
Well, honestly, getting into the trades, it wasn't my first pick. I finished high school, and like a lot of 17, 18-year-olds, my concern wasn't what am I going to do for the next 40 years.
Yeah.
So
Gas in the car and beer money?
That was pretty much it, right? So when I got going, the first steps I took out of high school was applying for university. That's what I was pushed towards. My guidance counselors in high school. Applied to UVic, UBC, SFU, all the usual suspects. And then time came for course selection and I froze. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
And it was nothing more than dumb luck. A couple days after course selection came and I'm looking at the list, one of our family friends who's a 170 member came through to help hook our gas range up. And started chatting with him and asking a couple questions and what do you do? And at the time he was working for Keith Plumbing and Heating downtown at the Hispania.
Yeah.
And I said, well, how does it work? You know, so he put me in touch with Graham Young, who was a former executive director back in the day.
Okay.
I stopped by, said hi to Graham, and walked out of there, signed up for pre-app.
Nice.
And I remember driving home and talking to my mom on the phone. And she said, so how did it go? I said, great, I'm going to be a plumber.
Nice.
So that was really how I got into it.
Yep.
And I started off doing my plumbing apprenticeship.
Yep.
Worked for Keith Plumbing and Heating for a few years. As I went through, I realized working with the welders and doing the heating systems that really what I enjoyed doing was more of an industrial flavor.
Yeah.
So while I was doing my plumbing apprenticeship, I went to school at Kwantlen on night shift. I did my welding ticket, so my C ticket and my CWBs while I was doing my plumbing apprenticeship.
Yeah.
And in doing that, realized that really what I was drawn to was that steam fitting side or pipe fitting.
Yeah.
So not long after I got my plumbing ticket, I ended up at the shipyards at Allied.
Yeah.
Went after my steam ticket, got my steam red seal, and then from there carried on mostly in industrial until inevitably I ended up at the school here.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how, so chased a couple different tickets, right? So you see a lot of guys in the trades that don't want to stop learning, right? So they want to continue that education, right? So much like yourself, you're like, okay, well, I learned that, and what's next, right? So a couple different tickets, and you've clearly picked a couple different paths through your career. So how did you end up in the school?
Honestly, it just along the pathway, and looking back on it, there was a series of different things that happened that if those particular instances didn't happen, it probably never would have worked out.
Yep.
And again, I could call it dumb luck or being in the right place at the right time, or the other side of it, preparing myself with all of these tickets for something that I didn't even know was possible in the end.
Well, leaving your options open, right? That's essentially what getting all these tickets does, right?
Exactly.
You have career options that you didn't have prior to having all these different red seals.
And that's something that I realized, and that's probably really, if we want to summarize how I ended up here, was each ticket you obtain, every qualification opens up another door for you.
Yeah.
And in the case of me coming to the school as an instructor originally, that opened up the big door, which was instructing. And then from there, some of the other experience I had moved me to the front office. And then now as executive director, working on some of my other skills that I've developed.
So now we fast forward, obviously we're jumping a big block of being an instructor. So now you're the director of operations. So give me a brief look at what's your day-to-day?
Day-to-day executive director. I used to be the director of operations. So Jordan Falk is taken over for that role now. My day-to-day now, usually for the most part, it's all of the back-end things that a lot of people don't understand or don't see the importance of. When we have apprentices that are out on the job, most of the apprentices we have are great. They go out, they do the job, they do it well, and they go on to the next job. Periodically, unfortunately, like any industry, sometimes there's things that happen where there's issues with absences or lates or whatever it may be. So on the back end of things, I'm working with contractors, trying to work with the apprentices. If there is issues on the job, working with the apprentices. I don't want to be the heavy-handed asshole coming after everyone saying, what the hell's going on? I try to come from a place of understanding and first asking the apprentice, what's going on? A lot of apprentices, a lot of people nowadays coming out of COVID has done a number on everyone's mental health.
Yeah, for sure.
Add to that the ongoing poison drug supply and the substance abuse issues that are happening in society right now. So when I talk to an apprentice, usually I like to find out what's happening in their life and try to see what we can do to help with the problem that's happening. If it's an attendance issue, what's the home life like? Do they have proper access to a vehicle? Is there something going on? And then through the member assistance program and other things that we have for our 170 membership, putting them in touch with the people that they need to talk to. The other side of it, sometimes they just need a kick in the dick and told to smarten up.
Well, that's the thing a lot of people don't recognize is, you know, you think apprentice, you think, okay, well, this is a kid or a young adult. You know, this is someone that's, you know, come out of high school and then they've come into the trades. Well, it's actually anything but that, right? Generally, when I joined as an apprentice, I was 32. And I was thinking, oh, I'm going to be the oldest guy there. You're right. And then when I actually came to class, I looked around and I thought, I'm like middle of the road, right? So when you think about, you know, trying to, you know, work with the apprentices and trying to see where they're coming from, which you can do organically because you were an apprentice, right? So you know those struggles on the job, whatever else. But some of these apprentices are men and women that have families or that have older parents they're caring for, or, you know, they have bills in life just like anybody else. It's not, you know, a young child that lives in their parents' basement, if you will, or something like that, right? So, so what are some of the projects you've been working on or class you have available for, you know, skill development or other things at the school?
Yeah, I mean, my day-to-day, so the apprenticeship side and talking to the contractors and helping our current roster, that's one aspect. Another one, like you say, talking to our membership and our contractors in areas that our membership needs improvement or skills upgrading or just where there's desire to be trained further. So working with Jordan Falk, our program manager, targeting different things. So through the summer, we did the Be a Better Tradesperson series. In that series, and really what spurred that was we realized there's a desire for training to happen that doesn't necessarily need to be a full 40-hour certified course. If someone wants to come out and brush up their skills on pipe fitting or soldering and brazing or service, we can put a course on where we can have it hosted on a Saturday or before a union meeting for a quick, you know, seminar style, something that we can put online. So working with Jordan, trying to come up with new ideas, working with our members and our contractors, and then trying to figure out what's going to be the most value for our members. If they have 2, 3, 4 hours in an afternoon that they're not going to spend with their family, we want them to get true value out of that course so that they come away feeling like their time was well spent.
And that gives them a, you know, a safe space, if you will, where, you know, maybe they're not comfortable soldering, say, or you know, they've never grooved pipe or something. And on the job, you know, there's expectations of what, you know, maybe their skill set is, whether they're a third-year apprentice or a second-year apprentice, you know, things they maybe should or shouldn't know. Every apprenticeship is different, obviously. So I tell a lot of the young guys, like, you're in charge of your apprenticeship. So make sure you're learning new skills. You know, you don't want to be just carrying pipe and drilling anchors for 3 years because eventually you will be a journey person. And then what does that look like, right? So it's nice to have an opportunity where someone can come into the shop, you know, away from maybe their supervisor or their foreman and be like, hey, I've never done this, or I'm not that good at it, right? And just learn the skills and have that kind of freedom to ask. And I think a lot of our job sites are probably that way, but still people are shy or intimidated, and no one wants to openly admit, you know, what they don't know, right? You know, so people got egos, right? So it's nice to have, you know, a place where you could do that.
Yeah, a safe friendly place where you're among your brothers and sisters, and we're all trying to help each other out.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we're trying to do, depending on what it is also. So some of the courses we've done, like I mentioned, the soldering and brazing, the service course. We've done money management courses, trying to help members understand how money
Great idea.
works for them and how they can take advantage of it, but also understand the credit side, which has always been a blind spot for a lot of people. Beyond that, some of the stuff we've done with our welding, so the STT wire feed process that they're using up in Kitimat, we've done a seminar on that, showing with some of the special high-speed infrared cameras, being able to show how to put the root in, how to manipulate it from a few different angles, and then having the instructor available also. So if someone's planning on coming and taking a weld test for this, or trying to get up to that Kitimat job, you know, you can't beat actually putting the weld in yourself, but short of that, being able to see a little bit ahead of time so that they know what they're getting into.
What are some of the things you guys have been doing to attract students to the school? Like how do you guys keep the classes full?
Yeah, well, I mean, for levels 2, 3, 4, we have our existing membership that we continually keep in contact with. If we see we have a class coming up, we can look within our database and we can see who would qualify, who needs it based off the hours they have, the schooling. And we proactively get in touch with the apprentices to let them know, hey, you're missing out on money right now. You are eligible for a raise if you get your schooling done. We've got a class coming up. We've got a spot for you. Give us a shout back and confirm that you're in. Besides that, we do a lot of work with our special projects department. Excuse me. So special projects department. So Leslie Yellowknee is our new special projects coordinator down south. And then we have Kevin Jeffries that's up north. So Leslie is new. Great pickup. He's a 170 member. He's been a 170 member for years. His history, he's just come from Access, which is an ISET that's based out of downtown Vancouver, North Van, I think. I can't remember. So Leslie comes from Access, and his role there was an employment coach. So we've done work with him in the past, doing a piping foundation program, and it's been fantastic, the partnership that he's able to provide. And what he's doing for us now is the TAPS, so the trades awareness programs, the triad trades that we host through the BC Building Trades, some of our piping foundations and welding foundations. So he works with different industries and ISETs at filling those classes with suitable people that we see having a future going forward within the trade, and providing the supports throughout that course as well. So when they actually come in, he'll do an entry interview, see where their placement is, see if they need any skills upgrading ahead of time. And then once that course starts, he's continually checking in with those students, seeing how they're doing, they're progressing, seeing if there's any challenges, and trying to mitigate some of those obstacles. By continually working with those apprentices, trying to mitigate any of the ongoing challenges that always come up throughout the course of, and in a foundation course, they're long programs, 21 weeks or 27 weeks, right?
So once the students are, you know, say they've gone through this foundations program, you know, now they're going to go out to the workforce. You have kind of a, you know, a direct line, if you will, with like the contractors, where the contractor can call in, right, and say, hey, you know, we have, you know, John Smith on site, and you know, he maybe is struggling in this aspect or that aspect, or you know, maybe he's missed a couple shifts, and then do you guys kind of follow that up on the back end? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, so when we have students come out of Piping Foundation, the typical pathway is we put them in touch with our business development office. They work with the apprentices to see sort of what region or what area of the trade they're specifically looking at getting into, as well as explain what the prospect of work is going forward. And our office relies on the business development office to kind of put the boots on the ground, if that makes sense. So we take care of the organizational side, the apprentice standards, the training, all of that, but that actual communication of putting people to work, we rely on the business development officers to do that. And then once that apprentice is on the job, the things that we talk about, ongoing care, attention, anything they need, that's something that we take care of at the school.
Yeah.
So if there's something happening on the job where an apprentice is struggling in one way or another, they're having a tough time, as we talked about, taking their apprenticeship into their own hands and being responsible for it.
Yeah.
If they get stuck doing cast iron for 3 years, give us a call, let us know. We'll reach out to your agent, to your job steward, to your foreman, whatever it is, and try to come up with a solution that makes sense so you can continue learning.
Yeah, it's being part of the business development side myself. I see people coming into the system, at the start, and people come into the system various stages. It's not everyone comes in as first year. We have members join in at second, third, even fourth term, right? So part of that is getting them into the system, making them feel welcome, getting them on the job site, and making sure that's a positive experience.
Yes.
And letting them know that there's a support system there if it's not. So if you end up somewhere and your foreman's tough to deal with, or you don't fit into a clique, if it's something like that, come back, talk to us. We'll try to get you somewhere else, right? And it's not just come into the system, if it doesn't work, you leave, right? And then same thing, with the skills development, all the different programs. It's not just getting that red seal, like that's the ultimate goal, that's the prize, but it's getting there and being the best tradesman you can be, and then continuing your education, because like you guys see, I'm sure, like the future is now, right? So there's new technologies, there's different systems, there's different piping materials, right? And so you don't want to just get stuck, and say, I do copper, I do cast, or that's all I do. Well, things are changing.
We need to be diverse as tradespeople, and the way the trades are set up, the program outlines are set up through ITA, they're very diverse. And one of the common criticisms, complaints that we hear from students coming through, why do I need to know that? I've never done that before. Well, you're a steam fitter, and the scope of steam fitting is this, and right now your experience is this much of it. But the point of being a well-rounded tradesperson is being able to be trained in all of these areas, and you don't have to be the best at them, but it's part of your repertoire and understanding how to do things and having an idea of what direction to go once we get there. But the technology side of it, like, it's interesting. In so many areas we see technology pushing forward, and we see it on a day-to-day level with the students coming through, the cell phones that they have, it's everywhere. Out on the job, the developments that they've had with technology, with the Trimble scanners, the 3D scanners, the robotic stations, even where they're at with the CAD side, Revit, and how they develop drawings and they maintain them. There's such an increase in where things have went with the technology side that I feel like the personal aspect is sometimes forgotten. And that's something that I've been trying to keep in mind. Having those day-to-day conversations with our apprentices, and when I see an apprentice getting dispatched going to Fred Welsh, making a point to call the apprentice and, hey, where are you going tomorrow? Do you know where you're going? Do you have your boots? Do you have your tools? Do you have your lunch pack? Do you know where you're going to park? Who's your contact? There's a personal aspect of it that I think needs to always be kept in mind. With so much of the technology emphasis, and having that understanding for the apprentices that our office is here for them. We're here to support them in whatever they need, and also even for the contractors side. The contractors understanding that we're a point of contact when there's things going on with the apprentices, and that they can understand, reach out to us, talk to us. We're people.
Absolutely.
Let's have a conversation about it and see what we can do to help.
Are you seeing a lot of support from like outside industry? So, say like Trimble and some of these things. Are you seeing support from industry coming to the school in regards to, supplying equipment or specialized training, to get people pushed through on these systems?
Yeah, we've got really good relationships with different reps from the different vendors. So using Trimble as an example, we've got a fantastic relationship through Trimble and some of the training side as well as the hardware side. So whether it's sales specific or training, we've got great relationships. Milwaukee is another great relationship that we've maintained.
See lots of red
years.
stuff around here.
A lot of red. We've got ongoing offers when we have first year classes, or even for some of the Be a Better Tradesperson series. If there's any specific equipment that we want our members to be trained on, by the Milwaukee representatives themselves. Lincoln Electric, Barry Hamill, we've got ongoing great relationships with a lot of the major vendors that are within our industry.
It's a win-win. It's, you know, it's great obviously for them because their products, people are familiar with it. If someone's going to buy something, they're going to buy the tool they learned with, right? But the other thing is that it sets the students up for success, right? Being able to work with these products, maybe get a chance to work with, you know, state-of-the-art technology that maybe they wouldn't see even on their job site or even in another training facility, right? So to have that access to that is huge.
Absolutely.
So moving forward, what can we expect for 2023? You got any projects on the go? Or what,
Yeah. So 23 is going to be a big year for us. We've got a lot of stuff planned. We're planning on having a list of courses coming out, Journey Person Upgrader courses. So a sheet should be coming out sometime in the next month or two, outlining basically the entire year's worth of courses that we have planned. And besides the NOSC Journey Person certified courses, we're going to be doing the Be a Better Tradesperson series again.
Great.
So shorter courses intended to reach more people, 2, 3, 4 hour courses that are meant for afternoons or a Saturday. And any of those courses, we're happy to take recommendations. If members feel they want specific training in something, shoot me an email, give me a call. We're happy to try to arrange something, because if there's one person looking for training in it, there's probably more than just that one person.
Are you also looking for people to offer their time to help train these? So if there's a foreman out there, or a superintendent, or somebody that's you know, working in a specific you know, tool set or material or whatever, they can get in touch with you as well?
Absolutely. Yeah, if someone has specific experience that they'd like to share with other members, I'd be happy to help facilitate, work with them to develop the lesson plan, support them to bring it to a point where it's able to be offered to the membership. We've had some great conversations with some of our members already about some of the green technologies and some of the things that we can do to inform our membership with that. And besides the Journey Person and the Be a Better Tradesperson series, we've got a full year of courses, apprenticeship courses throughout the province next year.
Perfect.
So in Delta, we've got quite a lot going on up in the Northwest still. Taking a look into the interior as well, so using kind of that central area, trying to see what else we can do through there. Still playing off heavy the UTIP grants that we've taken full advantage of from the federal government, as well as preparing for more grants
UTIP grants. Forward. Is there more UTIP grants coming?
Yeah, so we have one that's been announced just a few weeks ago that we're currently working on, that's due to be submitted by next Wednesday. So we're putting some things together for that, and we're anticipating there's going to be a second one coming out almost immediately after that one closes. So the emphasis on this first one we're working on right now is tools and equipment. The second one that we're looking at is more they call it training and innovation. So that's where we're able to take advantage of the federal funding to actually be able to supply courses, the instructors, the different resources on the back end to actually put the courses on, rather than just tools and equipment.
Awesome. So anyone that's interested in courses, Be a Better Tradesperson, just general class schedule, this is all available on the website?
Yeah, UAPICBC.ca.
Perfect. So you'll have next year all laid out here in short order. One thing I've noticed is your guys' ability to adapt. So in the back parking lot, I see there's no parking. And so I wonder, why is there no parking? And I see guys doing man lift training. So there's been a whole bunch of stuff. Tell me about that.
Yeah.
Where are all these guys coming from?
Yeah, so I mean, you mentioned it there. One of the things that I've always enjoyed about working at the school and have tried to carry on since I've been in the position I'm at is being quick on our feet for change. We get requests all the time, whether it's from contractors or ITA asking for our involvement. Our ability to move quickly is one of the reasons why we're able to get so much done. the man lift training in the back. We do our JRD training, so job ready dispatch.
What's all involved in the job ready dispatch?
So job ready dispatch was something that was brought in with one of our previous contract negotiations. The intention of it is for our commercial members to be trained in safety training, certain aspects of safety training before they take a dispatch.
Okay.
So how it works is the commercial contractors pay into a job ready dispatch fund, which funds the training for our commercial members. So I hear the complaints from our industrial side all the time about why don't we have it. The reality is the industrial contractors didn't have it in the agreement. So this is something that the commercial contractors pay into for the membership that are looking to go out to commercial contracts or commercial jobs. And what that includes is aerial work platform, fall protection, confined space training, WMIS, fit testing. I think that's it. But the five main things, and that's fully funded through JRD. If there is a member looking to go to a commercial job site, they can come and do that training for free. They call the front desk, they get the codes, they can do their training. We do as best we can to work around their schedule so as not to interfere with the day-to-day hours of the job. And the other side of it also is if we have a contractor that requires this training or any of the safety training that we're able to do, we're happy to work with that contractor. We've had full classes of 12 people on site. We've also went to site with our safety truck and trailer where we drag it down.
Take the training right to them.
We're happy to do that as well. We have the hearing test booth in there. We can do everything that we need right on site and minimize the impact on the job as much as possible, but still have the proper training going on.
Awesome. Well, I imagine you're a pretty busy guy with all the other things you got going on. So I'd like to thank you for being on the podcast today. And everyone, please look forward to our next episode.